Greetings, brethren, and welcome back to the How to Get Better at Chess series. Today, we're going to be playing against a coach on chess.com. So we're going to be getting advice from the coach, and we're going to be getting advice from me, the Chess Crusader. So, they start off here with white. She's going to put a pawn in the center. Totally good. Like she says, a solid, logical opening move. We're not going to be playing any theory today, just good moves, because we can teach theory in other videos. So, what's good? Well, we can put a pawn in the center of our own, or some people might be like, oh, try to attack the pawn, but then he's just going to push it, and then we got to move our knight somewhere else. So we're not going to do that. A good move here would be this, or bringing out your pawn of our own. We're going to keep it solid. Just put a pawn in the center when you can, and that's good. Now it's going to be developing pieces. The coach says, let's play a closed game. Can you take advantage of my passive opening? So passive as in just bringing a pawn forward to defend the center, but not really developing any pieces. So our advantage is going to be developing pieces. So now let's develop this knight. Might not be the best move, but just bring your pieces out into the open. Okay, he's going to give a check. Many good moves here. We could do this to kind of force the bishop to move again in the opening while strengthening our center, but it doesn't block any development. Except for maybe this knight, but this is also good too, because if he trades, let's say we put this bishop here. Let's say he trades, then we get our knight out, and then he still doesn't have anything. So I don't mind. I don't mind just bringing out my bishop here to attack. We'll do that. Okay, so he goes back to hide, but that doesn't. This bishop being here doesn't harm any of my development. So I'm going to bring out my knight next, and maybe think of some ideas over here. Do you see how to punish my mistake? So, is this a mistake? Well, the mistake is that it's not a good move. Why are you moving your pawn to a3 in the opening? He's got to start bringing out some pieces. This coach is 1600 rated, but they're not playing very strong because they're letting us have a lot of opportunity in the middle of the board. We'll game review this afterwards as well, but I think how to take advantage of this, we're just going to go rip right for the center. So now we're attacking this bishop. Okay. You have a chance to trade pieces of equal value, he says. Okay, so obviously that's just this bishop. Generally, bishops are better than knights, so this is a good trade, just because in endgames, bishops can move on the diagonals. They can move way longer on the boards, while knights, you kind of got to jump around, and they're kind of weird. So this trade, it can bring his queen out, but also trade the pawn. But then, let's say he brings out his queen. Sure, he's developed his queen, but I have a knight here and a bishop here, so I'm just crazy in front of development. And also, he's weakening his king by this move, because now where is he going to castle? He already moved this forward, and he's already moved this forward, so what's he going to do? Well, I will trade with that bishop in the middle. Perfect, you got the right idea, there you go. I can take that, what else do you have in mind? Well, we might want to start attacking this king somehow, because now this king is kind of open. He's got none of his pieces developed. How can we attack the king? Well, we can try to do things like bring our queen out, bring this bishop out somewhere. They're attacked by, those squares are protected by like pawns and stuff. I wouldn't mind this so much, because it forces either his queen to move or his knight to come out. It's not great though. I might want to try to develop my piece, just to kind of maybe put pressure on the center here. I would not mind that at all. Let's get this bishop out. Let's go here. It's legal for you to castle now, should you? Definitely not, because he just pushed this pawn. So he's pushing all of his pawns, kind of weakening, not developing any of his pieces on the back rank. You want to make sure that you're developing your pieces, because now, look, I got 3 of my pieces out. They're going to be coming for the center pretty soon. I'll just retreat my bishop here. Just go here, not going to be threatened by anything. Okay, now he's going to bring out his knight. A good idea now is that, hey, if I want to develop this bishop, I can put it here. Before, it was like, okay, it'll develop his knight for free, but now it's not. Now his knight is going to be pinned to his queen. So this is a good square for him to go. I don't need to castle my king yet, because there's no threats. There's no threats to the king yet. Okay, so he wants to go there. That is totally fine. He's leaving, like he's opening up this area so much, so that if he ever castles his king, it's going to be a nightmare. I'm going to want to keep this pin on the knight, because, you know, you can see the queen through the knight. I'm going to keep this pin on here, and if he tries to push forward, then, yeah, see, now he's going to have nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. His king has nowhere to hide when there's so many pieces left. And, okay, so that wasn't good, because I got my bishop trapped, but I just have such a lead in development, and protection for the king, because I'm going to castle, and now he's going to have like nothing, no attack, anything. So that was, you know, a little bit reckless for me, but it's all right. So what do we want to do? Do we want to, yeah, I'll probably just take with the bishop. We'll do that. Okay. So now we will just castle down here, get a rook on the file, and just go for the king. See, he's going to castle this way, but his king is very weak. So how are we going to deal with this? Well, one way, if I bring my queen here, it's just going to threaten this. And that's big time danger for him. Now everyone is safe and secure for the moment. No, I don't think so. We'll go here. And now threaten some stuff over here. He moves his king forward to try and protect it. But then what if I put my knight here to try and get that square back? What's he going to do? Well, maybe he'll try to move his queen over to protect it. That might not be a horrible idea. Trying to think of what are good ideas to do. Another good idea is just putting the rook on the file to put some more pressure on this piece here. I would not mind that at all. Or even just bringing this pawn forward so that I can get my bishop here and move to this square with my queen. That would be good. So, one move threat is here, but then he can just move his queen over, and I think it's just fine. So maybe I will just get my rook over to this file right here. We'll go here. Nice, looks like my piece can be more active on my square. I'm developing my knight and fighting for center control. Okay. So trying to fight for the center here doesn't super matter. This pawn is being targeted by both of these, which was my plan all along. So I might try to take. I could take with the bishop, or I could take with the rook. Because let's say I take this way, and if he takes back, then I get my rook here, and then this move is a lot better with my knight because now the queen can't go there. But that's only if he takes. So when we're calculating, we got to be like, okay, if I go here, and if he just doesn't take, now what? Now what indeed? I think this is still a good move, so we're going to go for this. Okay, so he takes, and we'll take back, and now we'll see what his plan is. Okay. So he decides to go there with his knights. So now this doesn't work anymore right now because obviously my queen is getting attacked by this knight. So I have a couple of ideas. I could try to attack this knight, but he could probably, like if I try to attack this knight, he'll probably try to defend it. So I think the best idea is I can't go here, or I hang my queen, but if I go here, then I have some threats. He could try to move his knight for discovered attack on my queen, but then I just have some checks, so I will go here. This looks reasonable to me. Okay, he gets to go there with his rook. Now we can do some calculating, because obviously he's trying to trade, he's trying to defend things. So if I go here, and if he takes my rook, I can check him, and then where can he go? His king can go to none of these squares, but he can go up there. And to this corner with this knight, there's not very much else that I can do. Not that I can see anyways. Because I can move my knight here. I guess the threat mate over there, but he can just bring his queen down or something. So maybe now is a good time to try and bring my rook over to defend this rook here. Because then if he takes it, then my threats are still all active. So I will try that. That'll be my plan. Your doubled rooks are scaring me. Do you see a way to gain material back? Well, I'm going to go for this. Get my rook back here, and then keep on trying this idea here. Brings the knight over, defending your pawn. I guess this pawn? Sure. Now my threat is over here. That's what I'm thinking. So we will try that. Yeah, because this knight is well defended, because it's defended by this knight, and the king. So I can't do anything over there, but I can try blocking some things potentially. So maybe here. To give a threat, I like this, because the queen can't defend the square because of the knight. Okay. Let's develop his rook. He's trying to go back here. I have to be careful because I've got back rank problems. If he was able to get a rook onto the back file, then I would be checkmated. So let's try to calculate from here. Here, king has to go to a couple of different squares. So my queen goes here. He's got to go to either, well, these squares will be blocked by my queen, so then he can go there. I don't have much after that, though. So maybe my attack is not so good. I mean, I can take this pawn, and then that will cover this square and this square. Maybe I can get something done with that. I feel like that's okay. I feel like this is a good attack. We'll go here. Okay, so he decides to go back there. I can at least take this pawn and reset it, because then he just has to go back here. Okay, not resetting quite. But I have a check. A check that makes him go there. Okay, so check makes him go to this square. And then do I have anything? Potentially, I could go here. No, because then he can take it with his knight. Tricky situation. It's a very interesting attack. Everything is kind of holding itself together. Very nice in his position. In her position, my mistake. Because yeah, no check there. No check there. Guess I could go here. Not quite, though. My knight is hanging if I do anything else. Very tricky position. Definitely not a lot of time to do any of that. I could take this pawn. That is another option. I just try to get my pawn back after this, because everything is holding very well for him. But then he gets this, and then I have to deal with that. Oh boy. So here, try to force the queen out to somewhere, but also threaten, because I don't see a checkmating threat. There might be a checkmating threat, but don't blame yourself if you can't see it. I certainly cannot. So there's here, and then he has to go to that square. But then I don't see anything after that. Because I have this check, but it doesn't do anything, because the knight just goes back. So maybe I do this first. Sure, I'll do this first, because I don't see anything else. Okay, so he tries to trade. This is actually a good trade for me, because then I get the knight after. Because I'm up a pawn. Here, sorry. If I trade this, then he's going to take this, and then I get the knight. Then he gets my pawn over here afterwards, and that's not good. Holy smokes. I do have a lot of pawns, though, and then I'll have a rook. I'll go for this, because that's the only problem I have. So we'll do this. I like the move that gives your pieces some range. Yeah, so we'll go here. He's probably going to take this. He doesn't. I don't know why he doesn't. I guess because he could have just taken this pawn and then left his knight to hang. Sorry, I guess you can't see my mouse. He could have taken this pawn, but then left his knight to hang because it's just mate on the next move if he doesn't do anything. So I'll go here to defend that pawn. Okay, I don't mind that at all. Okay, so now he's got a threat on this. I guess I could force this trade here. I guess it's not completely forced because he can check me, but we'll go here just because then the rook can't defend the knight anymore. Okay, and now I have a passed pawn. Okay, so now this is totally winning for me, of course. But that was a very tricky position. We're just going to run over there. With the king just to get the... Yeah, he's going to take. And now it's just elementary. Just make sure that the king can't do anything. Just get a queen here, of course. So we'll check. And now from here, we're just going to go knight's move away from the king. This is how you checkmate with just like a queen and a king. We could, of course, get another piece, but we're not going to do that. Here, now, all of these squares are blocked off by the queen, so now he can only go back and forth on the square, so we'll just go here to checkmate the king. Okay. So we definitely didn't play that perfectly because that was a very crazy attacking game, but we'll do a game review really quick here just to see how this goes. Okay. So it says that, yeah, we'll look right here. Down you can see 78%, 87% accuracy from me. They had 4 great moves, which is kind of crazy. But we had only 1 great move. We had 30 best moves. We can't scroll down any further, but it says that my accuracy was, well, my rating was 2100 for that game, which is always inflated when you play against bots for some reason. They played 1700, which makes sense because they're 1600. And I had help from them. I looked a couple times. A couple blunders here and there. But, yeah, so let's see what we went through. We'll see what they say as well for the analysis. Yeah, just put a pawn in the center. Totally fine. Completely equal. Good moves around. Yeah, I remember they said here, they're like, oh, can you punish my passive play or whatever they said? It's like, because why are we moving this pawn on move, what is this? Move 5. We're not supposed to be moving that. And then it said, hey, how do you punish this? Well, what we did was we tacked right in the middle, just like it says, and that is the best move, it says. And yeah, we traded the pieces, it says the best move there too. A little bit of help from them, of course. Yeah, we did this. I brought out my bishop because I thought, hey, let's just develop the bishop with the pin on the king, but then we got him trapped. There was a blunder there. I was just thinking, hey, this king is not defended at all. So now it's, I lost my bishop there, but I was just thinking, I was like, okay, on the engine it says it's +2 for white right now, but the king has no safety. None of its pieces are developed. I was like, hey, this looks pretty good for me. And of course we were able to figure out how to go. Says it's about equal here, but yeah, great move, rook over here because it allows this check. Yeah, best move, good. I'm interested. What did it think was the best move here? It did think this was the best move. Why did it think that? Oh, because it just wanted to trade like that, I guess. Fair enough. It doesn't really change anything from what I actually did. Because at the end of the day, him getting his... Yeah. And this was all fine. We just walked it over. And then we won the game. So there you go. That is how to get better at chess, episode 9. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Godspeed.